Hello friends, a warm welcome from Aussie's group. We are back with our live question and answer interactive session. And today we are, I think, in the 15th video of our live series, Gaurang. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you, Malcolm. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you so much.
It's really surprising. No, I should not say surprising. I should say it's an achievement. We have been coming on live. First, we had 20 sessions of our live session, and then the interactive session, and in that also we have reached 15 sessions.
That's right.
We are coming to the fag end of this series as well.
That's right.
And we have had fantastic response from our viewers. We hope we have helped a lot of students
Definitely
achieve their scores, and it makes us feel really good about it.
That's true, Gaurang. So, Gaurang, today we are again in the listening module.
Yes.
And last time we did the task multiple choice, choose multiple answers, and the task today we are going to see is listening.
Fill in the blanks.
Fill in the blanks. Again, a high weightage task,
Yes.
important task. So Gaurang, if you can just brief the viewers about this task, like what happens and how is it?
As such, it's a very simple task.
Right.
There is a passage on the screen, one question per screen. So there's a passage on the screen with a few blanks, 2, 3, not less than 3 normally. So 3, 4 or 5 blanks, sometimes 6 or 7 blanks.
Right.
And whatever the passage says, the same thing will play in the audio.
That's right.
Except that in the audio there will be no blanks. So the blanks will have been replaced by words in the audio, and it is the task of the test taker to identify what that word is and fill it into the blank.
That's right. And generally, like, how many questions do we have for this task? Maybe
3,
2 to 3, yeah?
4.
Yeah, that's it.
Not
Like,
more than
yeah,
that.
Not more than that, that's right. And as you correctly said, per blank roughly we have 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 blanks.
Yes.
That's it. Now Gaurang, this task is somewhere in the, not exactly in the beginning, not exactly in the end, it's somewhere in the middle.
Yes, it is in the middle.
It's in the middle. So why is this task so important?
First of all, it's an integrated task.
Right.
It gives you scores for listening, and it also gives you scores for writing.
Writing. So,
And
yeah,
even more important is that it gives you a lot of scores for writing.
that's right. That's right. And generally, like, which type of audios do we get? Is there anything fixed or anything can come, right?
We have been saying this, and there's nothing wrong in repeating it, that this is an academic exam.
Right.
So a lot of the audios are academic in nature.
That's right.
You will get a lot of audios that are talking about science, research, nature, space,
Right.
stuff like that. General audios, sometimes you get TED Talks.
Right. But I think mainly we should expect a bit of academic audios.
Yes.
More academic or scientific themed audios. I think.
Yes. And sometimes the audio will be a discussion between a teacher
Yes.
and a student.
Conversational type audio. You're right.
And now, of late, the audios have been getting complex.
Yeah.
Earlier, the audios used to be so slow you would fall asleep.
Now it's really fast, sometimes like a bullet train.
Yes.
Difficult to keep pace with it.
Difficult to keep pace. Also, if it's a really short passage,
Right. Tight
the
passage.
audio will start and end before you notice it.
That's true. This is the way.
Yes.
That's right.
And you will have 3 or 4 blanks.
Right.
Earlier, we used to have sufficient space between 2 blanks.
Right.
Now, you can have 2 blanks in the space of just 2 or 3 words.
They're very close by.
Very close by.
All right. So I think we get 7 seconds before the audio starts in this task.
Yes.
So, like, what should be our plan of action? Like, in those 7 seconds before the audio starts, what is the best thing one can do?
Ideally, take a quick look at how many blanks there are.
Right.
Right? Just do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
Okay, I've got to find 5 words. Second, look at the words, if possible. Look at the words immediately preceding and following the blank.
Right.
Right? It could be simple words, ate, dash, does, whatever.
Right.
So that also makes it
Mind
easier
protect,
for
yeah.
you, your mind, to get trained that as soon as I hear this word, I have to look at it. Because, no, other than that, just 7 seconds, you cannot possibly think of anything else. And this is not a task wherein you have to think about what points you have to note down or what answers you will be giving after the audio gets over.
Right.
It's nothing like that. It's just a straight, simple task. You listen the word, you write it down.
All
That's
right.
all.
And since, as we're already saying, that the blanks are really tight these days, they're close, and it's fast. So, what should a person do? What do you think? Should a person type directly while the audio is playing, or should you note down first and then type the words? What is better, if at all?
But for me, directly typing it in has always worked. But then a lot of people would differ from this because different people have different skills. Some people are really good with their keyboard skills.
Right.
They can type fast. And here you will need fast typing skills if you're going to put it in while the audio is playing.
Right.
And then you also have to ensure that you don't make spelling mistakes.
That's right.
Right? So a lot of people would not be comfortable with that. So the ideal method should be you write down the word quickly. Maybe you don't write down the full word,
Just
but
acronym.
just an acronym,
Yeah.
an abbreviation, a short form
That's
that
right.
you recognize, and then you take the time to put it back in.
But many times people tell us that with noting, sometimes the pen stops working, unfortunately. So,
Well, there's
Very
no
tricky.
workaround for that.
yeah, that's true.
Then the only option left is that you develop your keyboard skills, practice a lot of typing before you go into the exam,
Right.
and put it in directly.
Right. And we can also use the tab button, I
Yes.
think, to go to the next blank as well.
Yes. So it is up to you. At the start, first make sure that you are clicking and putting the cursor in the first blank.
Hmm.
Thereafter, soon as you type the word, click tab,
Right.
and you will go automatically into the second blank. Click tab, you will go to the third blank.
Right.
And then once you have filled all of them up, make sure you go back and check the spellings.
Right. So I think one better backup plan would be like, even let's say I'm noting it down, but still I at least press that cursor,
Yes.
click that cursor once in the first box, so that I'm ready at least.
Yes.
Eventually, if I need it, I can go to
Yes.
it.
And that also, is sometimes if our attention is elsewhere or distracted
Yeah.
for whatever reason, somebody moving next to us, somebody making a noise or something, just that action of clicking the cursor drags our attention back
Yeah,
to
that's
that
right.
place.
That's right. And now, obviously, since this is a task of listening and writing, main thing is obviously spellings.
Yes.
So, what can people do if they don't know spelling? Is there anything they can do?
With spellings, I have always advised this. If you hear the word, right, try and break it down into smaller pieces. So suppose it's a word universally, for example. If
Right.
you're not sure of the spelling,
Right.
break it down. Uni, word, sal, li.
Right.
Break it down into smaller components. Becomes easier to spell it.
That's right. All right. And sometimes, however much you think, you're not sure about the spelling.
Leave it.
So leave it or write the wrong thing. What do you
Well,
do?
if you write the
if
wrong
you,
thing,
if you're not sure, what should you do?
I would say leave it,
Leave it,
because
right?
if you
Yeah.
if you write the wrong thing, you're going to lose marks for spelling.
Anyway, what to go?
Right? Why do you want to affect both? If you leave it blank,
Yeah.
it's just the listening that is affected.
Right. That's right.
Right?
You're
so,
right.
So leave it blank. Don't just go for putting in something.
That's right.
Malcolm, that was the part about how to attempt it. What and how is it scored?
Yes, scoring is again integrated tasks. So what PT has written in the score guide is that you get 1 credit or 1 point in both listening and writing if it's the right word with the right spelling.
Right.
So that's all they have written.
Okay. So what we're talking about is if there are 5 blanks, we're talking about 5 direct credits
5 credits,
for
that's
listening
right.
and
writing both. That's
That
why.
is very high value.
That's why. And at least you'll get 2 questions for blanks. And on an average, as we correctly said at first, that 3 to 6 blanks per question.
So people, we are talking about a weightage of just 2 fill in the blanks, even if you take it, and you're getting, say, let us say, for example, 8. You're talking about 8 direct credits for listening and writing. That's
points.
a lot of points,
That's
right?
true.
And it's also a fact that if you're not going to do the fill in the blanks accurately, you stand the risk of losing out on your listening and writing scores, particularly if you're aiming for a perfect 90.
90, that's right. It's really difficult to get 90 if you mess up this task, so you really need to focus. And another thing I'd like to share is that many times PT is very smart, so they keep on changing the speed of the audio as well.
Yes.
All of a sudden it will be so fast, like you don't expect it.
Yes, that's true. And some of the audios that have been coming off late have got a person talking and then
Yeah.
another person will be taking over, and that voice will either be very low or very fast,
Yes, that's
garbled. So disturbances are coming in. It's really a tough task.
That's right.
it might seem simple, but attempting it and getting it 100% accurate is tough.
That's true.
So what's the best way that people can prepare for it?
One of the best ways, I think, is that since you know that it's going to be a bit fast, you know it's going to be a bit unclear, always practice audios from wherever you do, let's say YouTube or from whatever source you're practicing. Always practice some fast audio. And second is, practice in some disturbing environment as well.
Right.
I think it keeps the mind ready. You know what you'll expect in the test, that's why.
Okay. Now, another question. Obviously, we had a live session yesterday wherein we talked about the changes that are coming.
That's right.
Right. So, have any changes come into fill in the blanks listening?
Fill in the blanks, people have told us that they are coming fast, but even before they used to come very fast.
Yes.
But what most of the people have told are that blanks, the actual keywords, which they got in the last 1 week, were relatively easy.
Okay.
Small words, but
Right.
fast. Like words like as simple as made,
Mhm.
assume, assumption. Easy
Okay.
words, but really fast.
Okay. Okay. So, in short, the audios are getting complex, but the words are simplified.
Maybe that's what PT is trying out right now. Maybe.
Okay. Okay. And has the timing on these tasks been affected by what we discussed last time, that the overall timing for the listening section is getting a bit
It has come down.
murkier?
Yes, it's come down really. Become really less now, and hardly around 17 minutes people get these days after the summaries finish.
Okay. So now, if we are talking about it from that perspective, then the option of noting down the words
Yes,
and then
yes.
entering it in becomes really tight.
Right. Yes, that's right. It takes a lot of time because first you write it, then you type it, then you check it.
Yes.
So instead of that, something better would be that you start typing directly, just form a habit. It will definitely help.
Okay.
Yes.
We have a question from Dharminder Singh, who is asking, what happens if the blanks too close to each other? Dharminder, thank you for your question. We already had a short discussion on this. If the blanks are too close to each other, you still have to answer. Right? You cannot avoid answering it. In such cases, the best idea would be, while you are typing, keep one eye open on the other blank and try and just note down mentally what the second word was. And as soon as you are done with the first blank, press tab, go to the next blank and type that word in. You might not get it right the first time, right? But then you will have the opportunity that you finish the blank and then come back and take a look at it again and maybe make the corrections. So if you got the spelling wrong or you got the tense wrong, just make that correction. But there is no other way you can attempt this.
That's right. And also the other thing is that I think when people are taking notes, sometimes they get so involved in the noting part, and as Dharminder correctly asked, you have the risk of losing the second word.
Yes. That is why, as I said, the best option is usually to put it down directly.
Right.
Because when you are noting down, you are actually having to do so many things at the same time. You're
Right.
looking at the screen for the blank,
Right.
then noting it down, then looking up again, then going down. If we look at it, that is too much of motion,
Then
too
again,
much
it's
of
not-
wastage of
Right,
energy and
right,
efforts.
Right. And I think the main thing is that when the actual audio blank word is playing,
Right?
you really need to focus.
Yes.
Because PT very smartly gives different words like plurals and singulars, connections.
Yes.
And if you miss it, it's going to be a problem.
Even the tenses,
Tenses,
right?
yes. Built,
Work,
yeah,
worked,
yeah.
built,
Yeah,
small changes.
Very, yes. You
Even
need to be really careful.
Changes that are, even words that are sounding quite similar.
Yeah.
Except,
Yeah, that's right.
right? ACC, EPT, EXC, EPT. You have to be totally conscious about the word that is being spoken
That's
so
right.
that you can put it in.
That's right. And I think also grammar helps the words before and after, as you correctly pointed
Yes.
out when we started it. Yes.
Yes. We have another question from Divya Priya. She's asking, does it carry negative marks? What do you say to that, Malcolm?
No, Divya, according to the PTE guideline, according to the PTE score guide, there are no negative markings in listening blanks. It's either 1, and actually that's the only thing they've written. You get 1 point for the right word with the right spelling in both listening and writing.
Yes.
So as we said before also, if you're not sure, better to leave it rather than reduce or risk the score of writing.
Yes. So there is no negative marking, but because it carries so much of weightage,
Yeah, that's right.
you do not want to risk that. And because if you're not written something, you are not going to lose marks for spelling. But if you have written something that is incorrect,
That's
your
right.
spelling marks will also get affected.
Pulls
So
down. Yeah,
it pulls down. The overall effect is a reduction in marks.
Right.
You do not want to do that.
That's right, because spelling is one of the most important components on which the writing score depends. You need to be really careful about that.
Exactly. Malcolm, is there anything else that needs to be taken care of when it comes to fill in the blanks?
I think maybe sometimes people can be better at their noting skills, because sometimes under pressure people just scribble and maybe they don't understand what they've written.
Yes.
So always try to be a bit clear. And as we correctly said, that before the audio starts, you get 7 seconds. In those 7 seconds, always count the number of blanks so that you can write it in the margin like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then in the correct sequence, you fill them up.
Exactly. That is one thing. Also, please make sure before every listening task starts, check your pen.
Yeah, that's right.
And we have been having a lot of students coming and telling us that the pen dried up, stopped working. So always quickly check your pen before the task starts. And soon as you feel that your pen is going out, put your hand up. While you are continuing with the task, put your hand up so that whoever is supervising the floor can come across and you can register your official complaint that you have a non-working pen. Right. Remember this, it is important that if you have any such issue, be it technical, be it non-technical, be it with the pen, you have to let them know in advance at that very moment. That way you are making sure that if down the line you need to appeal, your complaint has already been taken on note, and then you can go ahead and say that, yes, I faced issues with my exam. Then Pearson will have to give you a second attempt for free.
That's right. First they'll check it, obviously, with the recordings, and then if it's a genuine complaint,
yes,
they should give us.
So always make sure that you are raising, if there is an issue, you are raising the issue with the relevant floor supervisor and asking him or her to put it down on record.
That's right. And one more thing I'd also like to add is sometimes, people waste a lot of time in checking, rechecking, again and again checking the spellings. Now, there are only 2 tasks in PTE listening where we manage the time.
Yes.
One is blanks, second is write from dictation.
Right.
None of the other tasks you can do next even if you wish to.
Yes.
So better not to waste a lot of time as well.
Yes, and also these are the only tasks where you really need to check.
Check, yeah.
Right?
Check
But don't waste too much of time. In the other ones you just have to click, just select the answer and move on. Here you have to check, but then when it comes to checking, don't think that checking 3 times is going to make the spelling or your answer correct. If you got it wrong the first time, the second time you are going to correct it, otherwise you are not going to correct it at all.
That's right.
So don't give it too much of thought. Once you are done, move on quickly.
And if not sure, leave it, that's it.
Yes. If you're not sure, if you have a lot of doubt about it, even if you have put in the answer, delete it and move on.
Alright. I think, Gaurang, we have covered everything there is to in this
Yes.
task. I think so.
It's a pretty simple task, as I said at the start. Yes, a very complex one once it starts, because you have to be particular about the spellings and the words and everything. But other than that, it's a very simple task. Fill in the blanks has always been a task that almost everyone has come across when doing English.
That's
just
true.
that.
That's true. Alright, Gaurang. So we are done with one of the most important tasks in listening, integrated task. And the task which we'll cover next week is again, I think, integrated. Highlight
Incorrect.
yeah.
Highlight correct summary.
Correct summary.
Yes.
Again integrated with the
Reading
module.
and the listening module.
Yeah, again important task.
Yes.
Definitely.
And a tough one as well.
Yes, because the passages can be really lengthy, annoyingly lengthy sometimes.
And the summaries can be shockingly short.
Oh yeah, that's true as well. Yes.
Okay, Malcolm, what's our scorecard like for the last week?
It's been fantastic. We've had 3 more students who got 90 as well, even in the last week. And 2 of those attended just the master class. So yes, it was a good week even last week. And we are continuing with our efforts that we are trying the students don't focus much on memorizing the tasks, because even you might have heard many institutes unfortunately ask the students to memorize this, memorize that.
There's no point in that, particularly with the way
PTE
changes are coming. There's no point memorizing.
Yes,
right? I have been asked this question so many times by students. Sir, you say that we are practicing materials that are from the actual exam, but I got none of these questions. Then you need to remember this, that PTE has a massive database, more than 20,000 questions.
That's right.
We can practice, even if you practice, I was just doing a rough calculation, even if you are practicing 75 questions, that is the full test, every day, It will take us 267 days to practice all the questions, all 20,000 questions, and nobody, I believe, right now has the full database with them.
Right.
Only Pearson has it.
That's right. And I think it's never a long-term game. Memorizing never helps.
Never. By the time you reach 267 days, you're going to forget what you did on the first day. So anyway, there's no point memorizing it or rote learning it.
Right. Just work on the basics, I think.
It's more important that you get your techniques, your strategies, your methods of answering correct, and you will be fine.
That's right. And regarding the masterclass, friends, this Saturday, because of the long Easter weekend, we do not have a masterclass. So the next masterclass will be on the 7th of April at Melbourne CBD premises. It will start at 11 AM in the morning and go until roughly 5:30 or 6 in the evening. So in case you're interested for the next class, which will be on the 7th of April, just go to our website, which is ptetutorials.com. Under coaching, you will see the Melbourne masterclass page where you can register.
And remember, people, we are closed for the long Easter weekend. So we will not be having classes tomorrow, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, which is the Easter Monday. So 4 days, no classes. We will be back with regular classes and sessions from Tuesday, 3rd of April.
That's right. So I think, Gaurang, we have covered everything in the video.
Yes. And we look forward to the next video, which will be next Thursday, and it will be listening, highlight, correct, summary.
That's right. So thank you so much, Gaurang, for being here as always.
Thank you, Malcolm. It was a pleasure. Thank you everyone for joining us. We wish you a very happy Easter weekend ahead. Cheers.
Thank you.